Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today is the 5th day of Kwanzaa, and the 5th principle is Niyyah. Niyyah basically means purpose. To make our collective vocation, the building and development of our community in order to restore our people to the traditional greatness. So basically, in a nutshell, it's about restoring our people to their traditional greatness. And so we're looking at, and the principle of Niyyah is to revisit all our ancient cultures to see what our greatness was, what it was that we did, the good aspects that we did in order to build a great culture, right? What was the diligence that caused us to build the greatness of our cultures worldwide? Because we are the Aboriginal people of the whole earth. We're the Africans, and so all throughout our history, we've had a great, cultures and traditions. And by traditions, I mean our greatness as far as what we built, the morality that we taught across the world, the principles that we taught to the world, and the principles that we lived by accordingly. So in this subject, in this principle of Kwanzaa, Niyyah is the purpose of going back and revisiting those things so that we can utilize them today. So, and I want to make this clear, because some people have taken this concept and they think that that only restricts it to ancient Kemet. All they talk about is Kemet. Okay, that's not what this is talking about. As you can tell, Niyyah is a key Swahili word, right? So when we say our cultural greatness, when we say in returning to our purpose, what was our purpose from the very beginning, right? We're the fathers and mothers of all civilization. We're the queens and kings of all civilization, right? That means everywhere in the world where we are the aboriginals, the first places that we existed, we spread morality and goodness to the world. So we have to revisit those moral principles that we spread to the world. Example, the Kushite branch of the family that was in Arabia, the Sabian, people call them the Saba, or the Sabian Kushite family. Okay, that was one branch of our greatness, and it is from that branch that we see that Islam will come up out of eventually, right? And so the principles that are inside of Islam, when it reaches back, extends all the way back to Kushite Arabia. Hence, it has an African tradition, right? So everywhere in the world, we have some type of tradition, some type of morality that we have taught to the world, that we have given to the world in stages. So all of it belongs to us. We are the fathers and mothers. We are the first people on this planet. And so Niyyah is about reaching back to that time and that concept and that understanding of being the first people on this planet, and then moving forward to what our destination will be, what the completion of our intention and our purpose will be, which is we begin great and we, inshallah, will be great again. We will finish great, even through all the trials, even through all the tribulations, even through all the oppression. Overcoming that oppression will show that sign of being great, right? So, for example, I like to refer to, and I'm not sure if I said Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, but I would like to refer to, and this is just one example, and there's many examples from different areas around the world that a person can draw from. But one example that is often overlooked is the tradition reaching back into the Quran as far as referring to the first Aboriginal people or Africans of the earth. And in this tradition, it's referring to Adam alayhi salatu salam. And if we see Adam alayhi salatu salam, we see that he is created from black mud molded into shape. Hama'a masnoon. Right? And we see that insan inside the Quran, it says was created from Hama'a, black mud molded into shape. The same thing with the word bashar. It says the same thing in all three of those ayateen. The whole purpose of me bringing this up is it says that this Hama Masnoon being, or Adam, or people, were made Khalifa of the earth, the vicegerents of the earth. They were created as Khalifa of the earth. Okay? And so that reaches back to our historical greatness as being the first people on this earth who were the Khalifa, who were the kings, who were the queens, who are the aboriginals, who are the first people called Africans nowadays. Whichever land and whichever place that you speak of, that is what concept it is referring to. And if we look to that traditional greatness that is mentioned inside the Quran, we notice that along with that traditional greatness came a concept called taqwa. Taqwa means consciousness of the Most High. I'm not referring to a specific name at this point. Consciousness of the Most High. That instilled that morality inside of us, that made us a caretaker over everything that was created, so that we live in a balance, in harmony with nature, and not overstepping the bounds that the Creator Most High had given us inside the indwelling within our hearts, so that it manifests on the outside. That is indeed a true Khalifa. So that is part of our greatness. And we look at the world right now, it's not in its moral greatness. The caretakers are not in their position to do what they're supposed to do. If most of us study our history and the sciences of melanin, we would understand that melanin indeed even scientifically connects us to nature. And the person who is most connected to nature is the person that can actually best take care of nature. Coupled with that comes taqwa, or God consciousness, or consciousness of the Most High, or the divine, or whatever name that you want to put on it, from whatever culture that you may be manifesting from. The point is that we are the first people to earth, and we've always had a purpose while we're being here, and that was to establish the greatness on the earth as far as submission to the Creator, who demanded that we keep everything in balance. And that is our test in this life as a great people, to keep everything in balance and not to transgress the bounds. Today, everything is out of transgression. So we must reach back to our traditional greatness and see that inspiration, so that we will put everything back into its balance as the way it's supposed to be. So that's basically a look at Nia in a nutshell, to reach back into our cultural traditions and to draw inspiration from it, and to establish that traditional greatness that we once had as a people. So, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to the Muslim brothers and sisters out there, and black power, black liberation to all of us. And may our niyyah manifest itself so that we become the Khalifa fil Arf, or the vicegerents of the earth once again, in spreading the morality in which we so desperately need, and the balance that we so desperately need in this world, and to get rid of those who are unbalanced, who are spreading the fitna or facade or mischief on the earth to keep it out unbalanced. Those cultures who are ruling the world today have usurped a position that does not belong to them. And anybody with the logic inside their heart and in their mind and reflection, all they have to do is look around, and their own soul and their own heart will bear witness to this truth. So until next time, the next principle, may peace and blessings be to all you brothers and sisters. Black Power.